things have gotten a little bit more real, I suppose, after we discovered the fate of Snake. I suppose it's a little bit different to number 9, who died right at the beginning, because we didn't really like him. He threatened one of us. He threatened Clover at knife point, trying to game the system. There's every chat, and they did see his body. The other group, we didn't see it ourselves, but the others saw it. But Snake was very intelligent, very useful as a companion. It kind of sucks not having him here. So I wonder if I do replay the game at some point, I'm not sure. Can I go with him in the first door choice? Maybe. Then maybe that'll result in someone else dying in this scenario. Maybe the whole thing unravels in a completely different way. But yeah, I kind of regret that. I would have really liked to have heard some stories from him, just because he seemed very interesting, right? And Clover, being his relative, was also quite interesting in what she was telling us about this whole experiment idea to do with the ship. Anyway,
all right, let's go, June.
Wait a minute, has this loaded me?
Right. Here it is.
Oh no. Wait. It sat bolted to the wall near the stairs that led to the casino and the kitchen. Yeah. We're in the right place.
The Mercury card reader.
Mercury, yeah.
We're using the card 7 gave us, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I found it when we were checking out the shower room.
I think 7 said something like that. Anyway, let's see what happens.
The light on the... Junpei slid the card through the reader, and the light on the reader turned green and made a tiny electronic noise.
I guess the elevator works now.
And I meant to say as well, please don't get the impression that I'm not enjoying the game if I occasionally, have a little rant about something the character says. I'm just trying to enjoy myself and just talk nonsense in reaction to the characters. I'm actually having a lot of fun. So I don't think just because I maybe it's mainly Santa, I think. Santa always seems to rub me the wrong way. But even that is it's just fun, I enjoy the pacing of games like this because it's just a bit slower and I could just sit back and not have to worry about I don't know, I guess gameplay skill. It's just a different, it's a cool experience, right? I always enjoy games of this nature.
Junpei, I know it's only the 2 of us, but let's do our best.
Alright. Thanks, Mom.
What's with you all of a sudden?
Well, I'm happy we were put together.
I don't trust this for a second, man. This whole star-crossed lovers bullshit. I just don't trust it, man. I just don't trust it.
It's just for searching E-Deck, right?
Even so, I'm glad I'm with you.
I don't trust this at all, dude. This has got some bunny boiler vibes right here.
Oh. First, we need to find out if the elevator comes up full of water.
Just like we did before.
Yep.
Oh, here it is.
I just feel like it should always be a rule of thumb. If someone attractive, male or female, is being overtly nice to you and you haven't seen them in 10 years, or you've never met them before, right, and you meet them for the first time and they're being this nice to you and this forward, you should be immediately suspicious that they want something from you, right? If they start acting like this towards you, You should just say, like, right, how much money do you want? Or, like, what do you want? Like, it's just something... There's something not to be trusted.
I knew it. It's not wet at all.
Let's go.
Yes.
Once it had been checked for water, Junpei and June stepped into the elevator.
Look! Nearly all of the buttons are destroyed.
Really?
Yeah, only the seat and bottom button can be pushed.
We're on C deck right now, so the only one we can choose is bottom.
Yeah. Well, let's try it out.
Junpei hit the bottom. Giggity. Right. The door closed. Slowly, they began to move downward.
Oh, so this is the bottom deck.
They stepped off and saw that the hallway... It's the simple things that can make you laugh sometimes, right? They saw that the hallway to their right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end. But not a regular dead end.
Hey, over there.
What, a gate? Oh.
This is a numbered door.
This is the 8th one we found.
Which bloody door did we find last time? Did we find the number 6 door? But didn't... Santa and Lotus found a door as well. Are there any doors left? Doors 5, doors 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Which leaves doors 1, 2, 6, and 9. I can't remember which one we
There were
found.
2 numbered doors on B deck near the central staircase. They were doors 4 and 5.
Yep.
3 more in the large hospital room. Doors 3, 7, and 8.
And the door we found on E deck, and the door Lotus and Santa found on A deck.
That's all of
It
them.
was a 6 on the door on E deck, and a 1 on the door on A deck.
It's not mathematically possible using this system to have a 0 door, is it? And now door 2 stood in
That
front
means-
of Junpei. That's all of them except door number 9.
Do you think the next door we find?
Yeah, I think so. The next one's gonna be door 9.
Right. So yeah, next door... Could be number 9, but we've got to deal with these 3. Despite himself, Junpei felt excited. There was something about that excitement that frightened him as well.
Finally!
Yeah.
You don't look very happy about it, though.
It's not that. I just hope nothing goes wrong.
Well, obviously it will.
You're right. We should keep our fingers crossed.
Let's head back.
Okay.
He did his best to put it from his mind and headed back to C deck with June.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 7 pieces.
Pieces of paper they'd folded up and lay on the ground next to Junpei's legs. Everyone had written on paper pulled from Junpei's notebook in an effort to pull together a blind vote.
Just double checking, but everyone wrote their code name and a door number they want, right?
Yes, just like you told us earlier.
Can't believe we're voting here.
Why not? Should we just let Lotus decide first? Again? Why had they decided to vote that way? So that it has an element of randomness, so that the person who might or might not be 0 can't speak up first and have some sort of control over who goes in what door, probably, right?
We need to make the whole thing fair, blah-de-blah. This is a complicated plan, you know.
It's not what's complicated? What is it with Santa and thinking and not understanding basic things? 7 pieces of paper. It's not complicated.
Hurry it up, Mr. I have a brilliant idea.
Jesus. They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would allow people to force others to go through certain doors. Exactly. So like people like Clover and June, and probably Ace as well, who are a bit more withdrawn, aren't ever going to be the ones to speak up first. Where when you've got like short-tempered, moody arseholes like Lotus and maybe Seven and Santa, really, they're always going to chime in first.
Yeah, quiet in the peanut gallery.
And he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however, so he did his best to act calm as he began to open and read the pieces of paper. A plan? Junpei, what are you cooking? Is he just going to read whichever one he wants himself, regardless of what it says on the paper?
Alright, let's open these up. The first one says, Ace requests door 1.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why?
No.
No, we don't have time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going.
Yes. Dismiss everyone. Move forward. We open the second one.
Next is Santa.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I have a weird habit of, like, it just clicks. Like, my finger just clicks. I'm too used to just clicking on everything. Yep, he wants... Santa wants... I should be writing these down. Okay, so we've got, door 1... Door 2... and, door 6. For door 1, we've got Ace, door 6, we've got Santa. How convenient, the two lowest numbers. Junpei continued with the 3rd, 4th, and 5th pieces of paper.
Clover wants 1, Lotus wants 2, and 7 also wants 2.
Okay, they might not be able to, they might have to decide here. Lotus wants 2, so she's probably going to get that. Clover wants 1, and 7 wants 2.
Wait a minute. There is no way I'm going anywhere with the Elephant Man.
Hey!
No, there'd be no point
That's
to the voting if we
mean.
let people change their choices because of stuff like that.
Elephant Man.
But,
Just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma.
I am not an exhibitionist. I'm wearing clothes.
Barely.
So, last I checked, that's not a crime.
Maybe. But what about common decency? Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked raisin.
How old is she supposed to be? She looks like someone in her 20s, right? I guess she's not, obviously.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you!
Lotus's hair flared out like the mane of an angry lion,
Not good.
and she roared with a voice that shook the walls.
Let go! Let go of me! I'm killing him!
Yeah, have you seen the size of him, Lotus? Even if Lotus is like some sort of martial arts expert, like, size does matter in a fight. With some difficulty, Ace managed to restrain her.
Junpei, read the rest.
Right.
Junpei tore his eyes away and looked down at the 6th piece of paper. He opened it.
June wants door 6.
Yes, I don't really have a reason. I just felt like it.
All of the papers, save Junpei's, had been read. He did some quick calculations in his head, which I will do. No, he can do them.
So this was everyone's vote. Ace and Clover requested door 1.
This was the door on A deck near the central staircase.
7 and Lotus requested door 2.
This was the door on the bottom deck and could be reached by taking the elevator to the bottom of the ship.
Santa and June requested door 6.
This was the door on E deck and could be reached by taking to the elevator near the central staircase down.
Then the door I should choose is...
It took him less than a second to run the numbers. He opened the seventh piece of paper and spoke. Less than a second? Hold on! So Ace and Clover. So we can go with them. Door 1. Lotus and 7. It's 2. How convenient is this? This is so strange. Everyone is 0. Santa and June. Did I do that right? I can't go with June, basically. Right? Santa's number 3, yeah? 3 and 6, yeah, 9, 14, 5. So, good, I kind of don't want to be with Santa anymore. I'm interested to hear something from Ace. Lotus and 7, I've definitely spent enough time with them for a lifetime.
Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through...
Right, so I can't go through door 6. But obviously, the teams are going to have to change if we want to split up and do this, right? Because 3 people have to go through a door, so... I would really like to go with Ace, just because he's the only... in terms of these groups, he's the only person we haven't spent a significant amount of time with. We've spent way too much time with Santa and Lotus and June. Spent enough time with 7. Spent a good... and we've had monologues in terms of, you know, cool story stuff from all of them. We had June talking about the Titanic and the mummy and the ice that doesn't melt. We had Santa talking about the Clover and the hope, love, and the other needlessly love and luck. We had Lotus talking about the painting interpretation TV show and that stuff. We had 7 talking about the... Well, he told us about the Gigantic first of all, when he was with everybody, and how it was a medical ship. And then he told us about the forest of knowledge beneath the navel of the Gigantic, a chamber, and about the Alice, this all ice woman. And Clover told us something to keep a secret, an experiment. So we obviously can't tell anyone about that. So, in terms of learning stuff about the character, I suppose we've not really learned much about the characters because of those monologues. It's more been about conspiracies about the ship that tie into this idea of a telekinetic energy that kind of spreads between things on Earth, right? So I'm going to go for door 1 with Ace and Clover. That is the most sane group. The other elements to consider, we should possibly consider going with Lotus and 7 in case 7 kills her. Or Lotus kills him. Very possible. Once they've reached the... Oh, well, someone's going to have to go with them anyway, so I'm talking rubbish here. Can they all go together through either of these doors? Let's just calculate that quickly. So can 7, Lotus, Santa, and June go through anything all together? Okay, that's a little worrying for June. That's a really awful group. It's a very shouty group, right? But with Snake gone, Ace is really the only... I'm not saying I wouldn't trust June to be able to figure out the puzzles and stuff. I mean, in terms of her being, like, safe and comfortable. Like, I wouldn't want to send anyone with that group. But that looks like it's going to be what happens. So.
My choice is door 1.
Santa was unconvinced.
Hey, wait a minute there.
Oh, for God's sake, gym leader.
You cheating?
Cheating?
I'm asking if you changed your number after you heard what doors we wanted.
How could I do that? I wrote it down on the paper earlier.
Let me see that.
Sure, here.
Junpei shrugged and handed it to him. Santa examined it furiously. Maybe he made 3 different pieces and swapped them quickly. The others peered at it as well. As they did, Junpei quickly slipped the piece of paper he'd been hiding into his pocket. Although he'd never know it now, Santa had been justified in his suspicions. Junpei had switched the papers.
I had 3 pieces of paper ready.
Yep,
And
for
I
all
put the
3
one with
doors.
door 6 on it into the pot.
He put a small mark on it so that he'd know which one was his.
I just needed to make sure I drew last.
Card marking. It's like the famous Phil Ivey. Yeah, the famous poker player Phil Ivey got caught marking cards in a casino playing Baccarat, which is Baccarat got mentioned here. I think he cleaned out a casino for over $1 million, him and a buddy, marking cards playing Baccarat. And something to do with the gambling laws in that particular state meant that if you don't get caught while you're on the floor, they can't prosecute you for cheating. And I think he actually left with the cash and exited the casino, and then I think they took him to court, but I don't think that they got anything out of him.
After I saw everyone else's result, I just chose whatever door I wanted. If the number I'd already put in matched, then I didn't have to switch the paper out.
Okay, now... Interesting here. So I guess how we're perceiving where 0 is, right, is really important to doing something like manipulative like this. But I suppose we're not gaming. We're gaming the we're manipulating the other contestants. We're not manipulating the actual mechanics of the game. So if 0 isn't one of the people in the room here and is watching through like little cameras or something, then he wouldn't really have a problem with this.
Well, what does it say?
He fought the urge to smirk.
You got lucky.
Santa snorted and tossed the paper aside, frustrated. I do wonder if at some point he's going to like get his weird scarf caught in a door and strangle himself to death. Right?
Very well. We've decided who will go through door 1. It will be Clover, Junpei, and myself. Our only problem is the 2 remaining teams.
June and I want door 6.
Lotus and I want door 2.
That's not good. We can't open either of those doors with only 2 people. Aw.
Fine.
All 4 of you go through 6. There's probably a scenario where 3 of them can go through door 2, right? 13. No. Um, 21. 15. Oh, needs to be 20. So wait, what? No. Why am I this bad at maths? I swear I got an A in GCSE maths. Is there a way to make 20 here? I'm not sure there is. Ah.
7, we'll go through door 6.
Sure thing. I didn't really want to go through door 2 anyway. Besides, if we've got a younger girl with us, it'll lower the average age. Right, June?
Well,
Don't say anything. June was at a loss for words. Lotus was not.
Pig. You just wait and see.
I mean, okay, that's bad. I think I've just doomed 7 to death. Her eyes were the eyes of a woman prepared to kill. A shiver ran down Junpei's spine.
Calling me old. This is why men are such a pain in the ass.
Well, don't be so horrible. You called him the Elephant Man, you horrible person. Like, he didn't start any of this with her, right? I know that's no excuse. He could take the high road, but... I've never thought that she looked old, to be honest.
They're about as subtle as a brick.
And they're at it again.
So, accusing someone of lacking subtlety from Lotus. The least subtle person, both in personality and physical appearance, right? Even after they separated at the staircase, Lotus was still muttering angrily to herself.
I'll see you later, June.
Jumpy.
Circumstances dictated that Junpei and June would have to part ways again, but this time it didn't sting quite so much.
Don't make that face. It'll be like what 7 said.
We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. That's how the Nonary game works.
7's words took a weight off Junpei's shoulders and felt much better.
It'll be fine. I'll see you soon.
Hang on. Now, I just want to do a check here. Oh, this might not come into play until after we've done door number 2. I was thinking if Lotus, like, kills everybody and presumes that the 3 of us will survive, would we be able to get into door 9 together? Oh. But would we still be able to get into door 2? Door 2 needs us to have a total of 11 or 20. So I don't think this could work because no, she would have to leave one person alive for us to get through door 2. So if we have Santa, no, it doesn't work. So Santa, for example. No, that wouldn't work. But if Ace didn't come with us, so I'm sure there might be other number combinations, but basically I'm a bit just worried here that because we can sort of see the last door within reach, I'm worried there's going to be some strategical murder going on here.
All right. See you later.
Because Lotus will now be thinking, right, well, I don't even need 7. Like, we know where all the doors are, besides door 9. Lingering uneasy remained, but they went to their separate directions without much trouble. Junpei, Ace, and Clover headed towards A deck.
Here's A deck. It was the door on the left, right?
That should be it, yes.
Then here we go.
It opened and they walked through.
It's just as Santa and Lotus said.
At the end of the hallway sat a door with a large red number 1 upon it.
A numbered door.
To the left of it, bolted to the wall, was the red.
There's the red. I'll go first.
Ace went first and waved his wrist over the scanner panel.
Now the 2 of you, if you would.
Junpei was next. Finally, listlessly, Clover lifted her arm. She leaned toward the scanner panel. The third asterisk clicked to life, shining brightly. Ace took hold of the lever.
Now.
He took a deep breath and turned to Junpei and Clover.
Are you ready? Shall I pull it?
Yeah, anytime.
Clover said nothing. She nodded, little more than a lethargic twist of the head.
Very well then.
Twitch of the head.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
And it's open! Move it!
They stumbled into the room.
Where is it?
Frantically, Junpei scanned the room. His eyes stopped on the device that would determine whether they lived or died.
There it is! Over there!
Next to the door they'd come through was the dead. As one, they ran to it. They put their hands over it as if they were fighting for it.
It stopped.
Yes, it did.
Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. Ace and Clover were breathing hard and fast.
Whew. I don't believe I'll ever get used to that.
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to. We should finish this game before imminent death becomes a normal thing.
I agree.
Now then.
Junpei looks around again, this time more slowly. Suppose, I can't remember if I mentioned this in the last video, but should we I did mention the idea of Clover not being Snake's real... I know that they might be step-siblings, I can't remember, but sister. Maybe being some sort of imposter, or maybe she was the one who killed him. Maybe. Possible. Not sure. So we've got
There's another door.
A little office
Let's
here.
try opening it.
He took hold of the knob and easily, gently pulled it open.
So, this is the
Oh, right.
wheelhouse?
He closed the door again and turned to Ace and Clover. He fixed each turn with a meaningful stare, then spoke.
Ace, you investigate the wheelhouse next door.
Very well.
Clover, you're in charge of this room. Say something!
Okay, I will.
All right then, let's get started.
Why'd you have to flash the screen white, though? Now, you could probably see my face in the camera just how white that went. I'm pale enough already. Alright, we've got a map over here. Maybe locations that the gigantic sailed. Stack of nautical charts. So that's from Iceland or Greenland. to around near Nigeria. I'm not sure that... No, that's not quite South Africa yet, is it? Near enough. Brazil. Maybe Uruguay. And Australia. I think this is a nautical chart. There's this line on it here. I think the line is the route the ship is supposed to take. There are those dots all over the map. Oh, those are probably ports, like for a boat to stop at. Looks like the lines connect the dots. Nothing left. A chair! A chair. Clover isn't talking much. Well, I guess that's understandable. I mean, she's been through a lot. Really, it's more surprising that she's still together enough to talk at all. Solemn, lonely, and somehow melancholy. The light looks kind of like a wilted flower. It really does. Junpei, are you trying to open that door? Forget it, it's pointless. I tried it earlier. It won't open. Alright, we'll look at the map last. It's a light. Well, I guess she doesn't really feel like talking. She's not really paying attention to anything, is she? Her mind must be somewhere else. The shelves are lined with books. Let's see what's in this blue one. There's something written on it. Ship's log. Huh. Ship's log, huh? Right. A ship's log found in the charts room. The following is written on the last page. We leave soon for a new journey across the sea. After leaving port, we headed south and west. We turned southwest to steer around the continent, then proceeded northwest. We made port, then changed our heading to east for a time, and are now heading due north. Soon we will dock in the United Kingdom, the homeland of this vessel. Oh god, what did I just turn on? I don't know what I just did. Hint? Don't give me hints. None of them are useful. A wooden box, maybe a case of letters. Hey Clover, you ever write letters? Dude, she's going to have written letters to her brother. Nothing. Okay, a pocket watch. That's a pocket watch. She sure hasn't been saying much. At least she just keeps looking at the floor. Seems kind of sad. Obviously, pocket watch, an old one too. Kind you have to wind. The hands have stopped at 5 minutes 39 seconds past 10 o'clock. I hate this way of communicating time. I really do. I just wish we'd just say 10:05 39 or whatever it is. It's so much simpler. I really hate telling time in fractions. It absolutely does my head in. I mean, I understand it perfectly, I just don't like it. Right, so it's 10:05 39 on the pocket watch. Might have to input that somewhere. I wonder if it's broken. Yeah, I don't feel anything moving when I fiddle with the dial here. Looks like I could move the hands manually though. Oh, sorry, let's... Oh, a voice he hadn't expected startled Junpei from his examination of the pocket watch.
Oh, pocket watch. Might I take a look at it?
No, it's mine. He spun around to find Ace standing in the doorway. Junpei shrugged and handed in the pocket watch. I do like Ace's coat. It's very Blade Runner. Right? The high collar, the buckles. It's pretty sick. You know, he's got like the turtleneck with the dash of bright colour on it. Yeah, but he's dressed very cyberpunk. It's only ruined by that little chin strap beard he's got.
Hey, man. What are you doing over in this room?
Oh, I just thought I'd come check up on the two of you. Is there a problem?
Yeah, he does have a vibe of Auron from Final Fantasy X. Again, chin strap beard ruins it though. No.
Well, not a problem, but
Shouldn't you be looking in the other room?
That's a lie. I wanted to get rid of Ace.
Oh.
I sent him to the wheelhouse at the beginning for a reason. I wanted to talk to Clover alone. There's something I want to ask her. And I don't want anyone to overhear us. I'm pretty sure Clover won't talk if there's anyone else around. I'm a little desperate to send him back, quick. He has to leave.
Ace opened his mouth, then took another look at Junpei and shut it again. A small smirk appeared on his face.
Oh, I see. Of course.
He looked Junpei over, then glanced at Clover.
I apologize for the intrusion. Well, best of luck.
What? He gave Junpei a knowing pat on the shoulder and left. You think we're trying to seduce? You guys told me that she's supposed to be like 18. But still. Yeah, let's seduce the grieving young woman. Yeah, great idea. Oh, your brother's just exploded, but Junpei let out a sigh and brushed a few drops of sweat from his forehead. He turned and found himself looking straight into Clover's eyes. She'd heard what Ace had said. She regarded Junpei with caution.
What was that about?
He was clearly suspicious and with good reason.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Junpei's eyes widened and he held up his hands in a gesture of innocence.
no, it's not like that.
What's it like then?
I just wanted to hear the rest of that story. I didn't get a chance to ask you about it until now.
What story?
I only know this because I've just recently watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and a lot of the stuff on. I follow the guy who wrote it on Twitter. He was saying about how they wanted in Japanese. I don't watch a lot of anime. I've watched classic animes like Akira and Ghost in the Shell and stuff, but I don't watch a lot of anime. Is it a character called Loli, who's like a girl who has like a very young appearance, but isn't necessarily young? I guess that's why I was thinking she might have been a lot younger, but she just kind of has this appearance with the kind of like pigtails and the uniform, I guess. But I think is it a lowly character? And yeah, because there's a character like that in Edge Runners. But yeah.
About the experiment, remember? The one you started to tell me in the operating room? You said something about an experiment that happened here 9 years ago.
This was also a reason to come here. I'd kind of forgotten about that. I've forgotten that her story got cut off by 7, so this is also a boon of coming here. Clover bit her lip. She stared down at the floor for several long moments, and when she spoke, it was barely audible.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm just not in the mood, okay? You understand, right? I keep thinking about my brother. I can't stop. I mean, who would do something like that to my brother? I can't forgive them. I'm not gonna let them get away with it. They're gonna pay for it. I promise. So...
Her shoulders were shaking. Drops of blood had sprung up on her lips where she was biting them. She wiped it off and looked up at Junpei, her eyes fierce and angry.
Junpei, who do you think did it?
Her voice was cold and scarcely above a whisper. Junpei gulped.
Well, if what Seven said was right, then there would have to be at least 2 of them. You need at least 3 people to open the numbered doors, and if you subtract Snake, that means there were at least 2 other people.
Okay, so can we work this out mathematically? door 3, was it? So it can't have been. Again, if it was if 4 people could have ganged up on him, right? So Ace. So this needs to be this needs to be 12 or 21. So. No, that's 13. So it could be Ace, June, and Santa. The obvious combination here would be these two, right? Would be Santa and Lotus, because they similar personality type. They've spent a good chunk of time together alone to have potentially buddied up.
You're right. So, what does that mean?
Well, if we just look at the bracelet numbers, we should be able to figure it out. Who could have opened door 3 with Snake? Well, really, who and who, or who and who?
Or who, and who?
You mean it could have been 4 people?
Yeah.
Well, technically it's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. That doesn't seem very likely.
Why?
I'll tell you later.
She must have spent some time with one of them.
Why don't we just assume it was only 2 other people for now?
Okay, got it. Let's do that then.
Then who do you think it could be?
Junpei crossed his arms and thought. Snake's bracelet number was 2, which 2 bracelet numbers added to 2 would give a digital root of 3. Okay, I'm going to have to work out the other permutations here. So we've already done... So we need 10, right? So Clover and June seems a bit unlikely, right? Is that it? I think that's it, isn't it? We don't have 9, so it can't be Ace. 3 and 7. 4 and 6. 5 and 5. There's only 1 5. 7 and 3. 8 and 2 would need another 2. Oh wait, 7 and 3, not Lotus. Oh, sorry. Me and my maths. So, sorry, it's not Lotus at all. 7 and Santa. And we have to remember that 7 is the one that suggested this whole notion. So it could be Santa and 7. I don't think there's any other mathematical combinations that work. Like if we want to have Lotus involved, we would also need to have Junpei and June involved for a 4, right? To get to 21. Yeah. Or Clover and 7 with Lotus. So Santa and 7 is the one that mathematically makes the most sense.
Would it be Santa and 7? The digital root for Snake, Santa, and 7 is 3. Wait, hold on. Are Santa and Seven the killers?
What's wrong?
Clover looked at Junpei and he looked back at her. There was no point in hiding it.
Well, I thought about it, and...
He told her his conclusions.
That's what I thought.
She looked less surprised than he'd expected.
Santa and Seven. If it was 2 people, then that's the only combination that works.
Hey, wait a minute there. Don't you think it's a little too early to be jumping to conclusions?
Yeah. Well, no, she's got some extra information she's not told us.
Well, all I said is that those 2 would have been able to open door 3 with your brother.
Yeah, we don't have any other reason to suspect them. The only person who's acted outwardly suspicious or threatening is Lotus towards Seven, not towards Snake.
There might be other possibilities.
Well, what other possibilities?
He didn't have an answer. He was ready to admit defeat when Clover spoke.
Are you saying you think that it was 3 or 4 people? I really don't think that's likely.
Because...
Why not?
Can I borrow your pen and paper?
Clover put her hand out expectantly.
Yeah, here.
Junpei pulled out his pen and pad of paper and handed them to her. She opened the notebook and wrote down several simple additional problems. Eventually she had 8, which provided a digital root of 3. That was fast, much faster than me. So how many of them have the number 4 in? B, hang on, they're gonna... Right, so B, C, F, and H all have her number in, so that rules them out. This one has June in. Could be, right? I've no reason to trust her. This one has us in. But it doesn't have... Oh, right, a lot of these don't have Snake's number in. I don't understand. Oh, yeah, the possibility could have been that they scanned the door, opened it, threw him in, and then his bracelet would have activated, right? Is there no way for a 2 to work in these other combinations?
What's this?
These are the combinations for 3 or 4 people.
Oh, she's got the 2 outside of the brackets. Sorry, I couldn't see it.
These 8 combinations are the only possible ones.
Okay, he is the mega suspicious one, right? Because it's not Junpei or June or Clover. Ace, Santa, Seven, Lotus.
Oh, I see.
Junpei?
Yeah?
I can trust you, right?
Of course. Why would you need to ask that?
Well, it's up to her, right?
Really?
Yeah.
So then I should get rid of B, D, G, and H, right?
Of course. Just cross them out. And you should take off yours too. The ones with 4.
So, what does that leave?
A and E. Wait, it can't be A.
Why can't it be?
Why?
Because June's in that one.
We've got to start distrusting her, right? Mistrust is a foundation for any long-term relationship.
There's no way in hell she'd do something like that.
Hey, dude, come on now. Stop being so naive.
Are you sure?
No.
I'd bet my life on it.
Oh, come off it, Junpei. God, how can you be under the thumb after knowing someone for less than 5 hours? No, 6. Less than 6 hours. Or less than 7 hours. Right? How can you be that under the thumb? How? How?
Okay then. I can cross off A too, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
No.
what have we got left?
E.
Right, so whichever combination of numbers it is, 7 and Santa are prime suspects.
Do you know what this means?
Yeah, whichever number combination it is has... Well, it definitely has Santa, because I'm not willing to rule out June. I'm not willing to.
Everyone besides me, you, and June would be working together.
Do you think that's likely? If there were 4 people working together, they wouldn't be very cautious.
It's a good point. They just kill... Yeah, but they might need our numbers.
I don't think they'd try that hard to hide what they were doing if they outnumbered us, right?
Well, you do have a point.
And besides, if Ace and 7 are working together, they could have easily gotten rid of me when I went to the shower room with them. But they didn't. They didn't even try anything. If they were killers, why wouldn't they?
Her voice was calm, but Junpei had only to look her in the eye to know it was a forced calm. There were tears forming at the corners of her eyes, and she was blinking furiously to keep them back. Perhaps by attempting an objective analysis of who might have killed her brother, she had been able to distance herself from the harsh reality of his death. The more she struggled to act unconcerned, the more Junpei felt his heart tighten.
Oh, I see. Anyway, I understand now. It seems pretty unlikely that it was as many as 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
Then that means there's a good chance it was Santa and 7.
That's how it looks.
But why would they do it?
It was a moment of silence.
Their motive.
He laid his hand gently on her shoulder. He was close, so close to the answer. When Ace chose the worst possible moment to return. Damn it, Ace!
Have I interrupted something?
He raised a knowing eyebrow and then spoke. Oh God. Only thing we can do here.
What is it?
There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment?
Oh God, he's gonna kill us. He turned on his heel and walked back towards the wheelhouse.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Junpei looked over at Clover. He gave her a short nod, hoped that she would be willing to talk to him again later, and followed Ace. We shouldn't really leave her alone, right?
What did you want to talk about?
He looked at Junpei and smiled, perhaps more of a smirk than a smile.
There was something I wanted to check.
Yeah?
Yeah? What's that?
If you'll excuse me.
With no warning, Ace slipped his hand into the pocket of Junpei's vest.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
He's checking the paper.
I'm just checking.
No, stop!
He reached for Ace's arm, but it was already too late. In the older man's hand were the pieces of paper Junpei had balled up and hidden in his pocket.
Just as I thought. What exactly are these pieces of paper hiding in your pocket?
Oh.
You switched them, didn't you, when we voted? Well, I can't say that I care. I managed to get through the numbered door I wanted, despite your mischief.
Then, why did you...
Speaking of Americanisms that bother me, why would you pronounce that mischief? Why? I don't think there's any other instance in phonics where this results in a sound. Mischief. Oh, that's basic phonics, right? I know that I and E can behave weirdly, but...
Oh, simple curiosity. I hope you won't think ill of me for it.
He smiled, gave Junpei a friendly pat on the shoulder, and then turned on his heel and left. Now, we have to consider the possibility he's just listened to that whole conversation, right? It's just a door that separated us here. It was a small defeat, but it was a defeat. Junpei had lost the upper hand, and he knew it. He could feel his stomach begin to tense. Yeah, because if we plan to use this game again, we can't be trusted.
Damn.
Yeah, if we try to draw papers, like if we were attempting to draw papers for door number 9, we'd have to be in cahoots with Ace to be successful. Alright guys, going to have to leave the video there. We've very rapidly got to an hour, so excellent. I'm glad I chose this room. We got to hear more from Clover. I'm excited to hear something more from Ace. I really hope we hear something more from him. Yeah. Interesting. Santa and Seven seem to be the prime suspects right now, but I'm refusing to rule out June or Ace. Or anyone, actually, except for Clover. So we'll pick it up from here next time. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a thumbs up if you did. And just remember, everyone, never trust. And on crate, I'll see you next time.